Hi, Chef Ora Smith here at Martin's School of Cooking, KitchenAid Kitchen again. Today we thought that we would debone a turkey in honor of the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday. So we have our beautiful turkey here ready to carve. And the reason we thought that we would do a carving lesson today is because a lot of times carving a turkey is a source of anxiety for the person that gets selected for that task. Usually it's the patriarch of the family, not always, but usually this is something that you only get to do once a year, so practice isn't something you get a lot of, okay? So we're gonna dive right into this thing. First thing I want to point out is that a lot of store-bought turkeys will have this plastic truss in place, and all it does is that means that you don't have to deal with the truss of the bird. So you just want to come in here and remove that plastic and loosen it from one side or the other, and then you can kind of work it out from around the legs and then out of the cavity. And there are two spears that keep that stuck into the cavity, and a little bit pointy there, but once you've loosed it from the legs, you can kind of wiggle that out and get that out of there. So you get that out of your way. Now we've got the whole bird intact, obviously not stuffed. There are two schools of thought on carving a bird. One school of thought would be to remove the legs and the thighs and do the breast last. Other school of thought would be to do the breast first and the legs and the thighs last. It really doesn't matter as long as you attack it from one end to the other, okay? So what I like to do, first thing I like to do is get the drumsticks out of the way. And all I have done is loose the skin from the inside of the leg, loose it from the thigh, and then I've got the knee joint that I need to figure out right where that joint's at. So with just a couple small cuts, I can get that drumstick off of that thigh. And I like to put the drumsticks on my platter whole. Kids and often guys will like the drumstick whole so they can do their little caveman act at the end of the table. And there's the other one. Okay, so two nice drumsticks off the carcass ready to go. So now that the drumsticks are off, turn this so you can see that a little bit better. I'm going to come in here and try to find the hip joint on the thigh. Now you can see there's the end of the hip. I can just give that a little tug and right off of it comes. Now the thigh, you're going to want to remove the femur. There's only one bone running through the thigh. And what you can do is you can come in, make a slit on one side, a slit on the other side, and then you can just kind of get hold of it and try to loosen the rest of the meat from it. Okay, so there's the thigh. A little bit more meat here that can be picked off, but pretty much that's the thigh bone removed. All right, now thigh bone removed, you turn it back over. Still looks like it did when we pulled it off the bird. And then you're just going to slice it across, trying to keep the skin intact. A lot of people like that crunchy skin. And you can see as you cut it across, there are several muscles that make up the thigh, and you cut those across the grain to make sure that they have a nice tender mouthfeel. Okay, so there's one thigh on the platter. Okay. We'll get in here and get this other thigh off. Same thing, looking for that hip joint. It's right down there. You see that white little marble, as it were. And then you just kind of give it a little bit of pressure and it pops right off there, okay? So, come in here, loosen that femur. Any tissue stuck to the bone can just be pulled off there. Flip him over again. My skin came a little bit loose on this one, but we'll try to maintain that. Cut it across. And there's the other thigh ready to go. Now, important to point out that this turkey rested for about 15 minutes. This was a 14-pound turkey starting out. And I like to recommend a minute to a minute and a half, I'd say, per pound of rest time on the bird. So if you have a 20-pound turkey, maybe 20 to 30 minutes. 14-pound turkey, 15 to 18 minutes, somewhere in there. At least a minute per pound, okay? So, thighs and legs removed. We've got our breasts and the wings still intact, so we're working from one end to the other, okay? The wing, you just want to give it a little bit of pressure to kind of get an idea where that joint was, and then you're going to come in here and try to expose the joint. Applying continuous pressure until you've removed it. And again, you've got this white sort of a marble that will indicate when you're getting close. It's a little bit up and under the bird, so let's see if I can't show it to you a little bit better. Okay. See that joint right there? There's that marble, and there's the wing. And again, like the drumsticks, I like to have the wings intact in case somebody wants those. Okay? So now we're down to the breasts. Most important part, the white meat will dry out worse than the dark meat, and then we've left the leg and the wings on the bone, so those won't dry out. So you've got a keel bone here in the middle. You can see that I've sliced on either side of this keel bone. It's essentially the sternum of the turkey. Okay? So working along that bone and then down along the wishbone on the front side, you're going to try to cut all the way to the carcass. Now you can see as you come in here and just ever so slightly, little light cuts, and just loosen the entire breast from the carcass. There's a whole turkey breast right there. Same on this side. I'm going to come in here along the keel bone, and I'm going to stick my thumb in between the keel bone and the breast, trying to expose the next layer of tissues that need to be loosened. As I pull and slice, try to remove the entire breast from the carcass, okay? Now this of course could be picked cleaner to be used in the gravy, but that's a pretty clean carcass. Okay, now the breasts. You've got, sorry about the board. The breasts, you sort of have a point on each end. The idea is to cut perpendicular to the points, okay? So not lengthways, the grains are running this way, so you want to cut across the grains. So starting at either end, okay, just come in here and start slicing the breast. And what this will do is shorten up those muscle fibers and give you a better overall mouth feel when you go to chew it. And the fact that we rested our bird is going to help maintain moisture in that turkey breast. Okay, you take the bird right out of the oven and start carving it hot, it's going to lose all its juice. It's very important to rest it. So, in a nutshell, that's how you carve your turkey. You platter it however you like, garnish it with whatever you like, cranberries, greenery. Have a great Thanksgiving.